Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Bandwidth for All About Android is provided by Cachefly at cachefly.com.
This episode of All About Android is brought to you by Ford, featuring Wi-Fi connectivity with available Sync and My Ford Touch. Now your car can be a Wi-Fi hotspot. Check it out in the new 2012 Ford Focus at ford.com/technology. And by squarespace.com, a fast and easy way to create a high-quality website or blog. For a free trial and 20% off your new account for 6 months, go to squarespace.com and use offer code Android10.
Welcome to All About Android, episode 31. I don't know what my camera is. Recorded on Monday, October 24th, your weekly source for the latest news, hardware, and apps for the Android faithful. I'm Eileen Rivera.
I'm Jason Howell.
And I'm Ron Richards. This is a fun getting started this week.
I already have the sillies. I'm already giggly.
Starting off on the right note.
Oh, man. This week we're going to be discussing more about Ice Cream Sandwich. Andy Rubin has a lot to say, and we're interviewing Mario Tapia from GetJar, and we've got games in the arena, but we would first like to introduce our guest, Justin Eckhouse. You should do this. You should do the intros.
This is Justin's my old buddy from CNET. We started the Android Atlas Weekly podcast. And actually, Justin, I have this, just go ahead and say, because I realized this as we were kind of getting ready today, I would not be doing an Android show in any way, shape, or form if it wasn't for you. It was your idea to kind of get Android Atlas Weekly started.
That's true. Now we have the Android broadcasting empire going here.
We're all talking Android, probably even more than we necessarily want to at times,
Yes.
living it and breathing it and everything. But actually, I love Android, so I'm sure it comes as easy to you as well, because you've always been just a huge Android fan as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of fun every week.
Awesome.
Oh, a lot of fun.
Tons of fun. Tons of fun.
It's
I don't
so
regret
fun.
a day. Ever since I went Android, I was Windows Mobile before Android.
Oh, yeah.
So I never even dipped my toe into the iPhone world. So
No, neither am I.
Yeah, but you have an iPad.
I have an iPad. I don't use it that much.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, you create software, and you
got to test
you
things.
you need to know how things work in other platforms.
Really, ultimately, all I use my iPad for is to check Twitter in the morning.
Really?
It's a
That's
good
pretty
Twitter
much it.
delivery
from
device.
Bed. Yeah, pretty much that's it. I wake up, I grab the iPad, I look at the Twitter, and then I get up and go to the gym. So.
Your phone can't do Twitter well enough?
Well, I put my phone away because it would ring, because I just want it away. I don't want it to, when I'm sleeping, I don't want it to ring, text me. I'd be like, no, I'm sleeping. I need just put it away. So
Right.
yeah,
Put
I don't
it
know.
away.
I'm a strange bird, man. I'm sorry.
No problem, Ron. That's why you're here.
Yeah, that's why we love you.
Well, we have a lot of news to cover, so let's dig into it. All right, last week we talked about Ice Cream Sandwich and the big Samsung Google announcement, and along with that, Andy Rubin, who was at that event, also attended Asia D, and a lot of people were there, but we're mostly focused on Andy Rubin, and he had a lot to say. Do we have his little graphic, Andy? I'd love to see him just really quickly.
At least once.
There.
Oh,
For those of you
there he is.
looking at the video, that's Andy.
As you can
He's
tell,
got a good quote to say here.
He's got plenty of quotes, and that's okay. That's enough
Yeah,
now. I mean,
I know,
we would spend, that would be up the entire time, which
Yeah.
I think might irritate some of our video viewers.
I was
but-
kind of looking forward to seeing him say this quote that we've got teed up here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to see that?
Yeah,
All
we'll
right,
do
let's
that.
go. We'll do one quote.
I feel like this is a bold
Okay, here we
quote.
go. Ice Cream Sandwich is the best we've ever done.
blah 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 blah.
See?
blah,
That's
blah,
a-
blah 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 blah.
Oh, I'm like him.
That's a
him.
bold
Okay.
statement that it's the best thing they've ever done.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and we have yet to see it,
Right.
but from what I saw, it sounded looked really good, and I can't wait to try it. I don't know if I'm going to get the Galaxy Nexus myself, but I don't know.
I've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Wow.
Because all of a sudden, after last week's whole gala coverage thing, all of a sudden I became very conscious of how slow my phone is.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, this
Me
isn't
too.
working. Yeah,
I don't know if it was because of that or if my phone has just suddenly gotten slower. I'm sorry, not my phone. Your phone that you've loaned me.
I
Thank
know.
you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Justin, what phone do you have right now?
I'm ready for that phone. I have the HTC Incredible, which was kind of, so I had the Droid. Jason and I
Yep.
brought our OG Droids at the same time. And it got to the point where I couldn't deal with that anymore. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go on eBay and I'm going to just buy a reasonably nice phone so I don't have to sign a new contract as a stopgap until the next killer phone comes out. And for a long time, that was the Bionic. And then, that disappointed us all. And hoping the Nexus, I always want to call it the Nexus Prime.
Yeah.
I know. That would have been such a great name, right?
It's hard to erase that.
Oh, we need to start like a petition site.
Change the name. Change the name. Yeah, I can't.
Well, actually,
stop thinking
Prime, as we'll talk
Yes.
about later in the episode, is actually taken by another device now. So, a little hint to the future. But that was the smart way to do it, obviously, Justin, because now your contract, I have to imagine, is up. And
it is up. But
really, you're in the
I
perfect
just
position.
need a new phone. When is that thing coming out?
Well,
Like,
believe me,
Yeah.
I
think it's-
understand.
Well, we don't have any dates, but he did say that Ice Cream Sandwich was going to update and start rolling out in a couple weeks after the Galaxy Nexus release, whenever that is. I have no idea when that is.
Early
Be honest,
reports are saying.
did you check your system updates?
No, I
I
didn't.
did. Like the
You
other
did?
day.
You
yeah.
were like, oh,
I was on the
update,
couch
update.
and I was like,
You're not going to get it
maybe.
before the
I know,
Galaxy
but I
X.
got hopeful.
You hoped that it was like an accident.
Yeah,
That's-
maybe they rolled it out.
This is the guy who looks at his Google TV updates all the time and presses update, update, update,
I
and
do.
there's no honeycomb yet.
I do. I did that too this weekend as well.
You
I
did?
Yeah.
It's a closed door button in an elevator. It doesn't actually do anything.
Or
Okay.
So
the
imagine
crosswalk
Ron.
button, right? Yeah.
Don't you imagine Ron sitting at home? Update,
I get hopeful.
update, frown.
Yeah, like 10 minutes
update,
later.
Frown, but whatever.
Yeah.
I think it actually moves you to the end of the list when you do that. Just like
Yes.
You're a little too eager, Ron.
Possibly. I'm excited.
I know.
I'm on board. They got me. They totally got me. Hook, line, and sinker last week.
Also, Andy Rubin said that, or that Google actually confirmed that Ice Cream Sandwich will be open sourced, again, released publicly after the Galaxy Nexus.
Yeah, which got me kind of thinking about this a little bit. And, I understand why they're doing, like, I guess when I look at the whole withholding of the honeycomb code source, and, we've kind of talked about that in previous episodes about, like, whether that was that the right thing to do or not. And I'm kind of looking at this now, and obviously it would be stupid of them to do that again with Ice Cream Sandwich. But if Ice Cream Sandwich was this kind of, honeycomb was meant to be the bridge that gets you to Ice Cream Sandwich, which is the unifying version of their OS, do the people that saw the release of Honeycomb's open source being blocked saw that as a bad thing? Does it now kind of change their outlook on this? Because, I mean, really what it does is it forces everybody to not, there not to be another layer of tablets, running or even just phones, because I think their fear was that people would port the Honeycomb tablet OS to a phone, and then suddenly you've got this whole line of phones all running Honeycomb. This kind of forces everybody into the same path. Do you think that was a good idea?
It
in
might have been.
retrospect?
I think a part of it also. I think they must have learned from that debacle.
Exactly,
They had
because it
to-
was such a mistake,
So that's
right?
one. Given where. Well, no, it's a mistake given what they had done previously and what Google's kind of history was with open source. That's why it was a mistake. If it was not open source from the get go, I can understand that because it was such a different policy change. But I think you're kind of right. I think you've got a certain point there, Jason. Is that since it was a bridge, they kind of wanted it locked down a little because they knew they were getting to this. They were getting to
Right.
this
Yeah.
kind of ultimate goal. And God forbid somebody took. God forbid, but somebody took Honeycomb and did a variation, and people ran off with that, and then they've got to support this other thing out
Then
there.
suddenly,
So
totally.
it makes sense in the from this 30,000-foot
Yeah,
view. But
20
again, I'm not a
20/20
developer.
vision.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
work at Google. I don't know what all this stuff is. This could all just be happenstance. So.
Yeah.
Couple more quotes. As for the hardware business, Andy said that Google-owned Motorola would operate at arm's length from the Android unit, which I'm happy about because that means HTC, Samsung, all these other manufacturers are what?
I feel like at arm's length is close.
Is it too close?
Not that it's too close. I got.
Doesn't that mean
Well, it
far
depends how
enough?
big the room is.
Yeah.
He's got rubber band.
Well, I
over
mean,
his
the
stretchy
way I
arms.
interpret that is that yeah, we'll let them do their thing, but we're just at arm's length. Like like they'll get in when they want to. I mean, there's two ways you could take it. Either we're going to leave them alone, let them do their thing,
Yeah.
or we're going to keep them at arm's length. I took it the half empty kind of point of view. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe
Okay.
I'm
I think
paranoid.
depending on who you are, this is either good or bad too. Like I think me as an end user, I want them to keep Motorola closer and fix all the junk that they're putting out there.
True that.
Like Moto Blur. But if you're HTC, then you want them as far away as possible.
Yeah, maybe that's where I'm coming from because I don't I'm not a big Motorola fan, so I don't want all the great Google experience to only be on Motorola phones, because quite frankly, I really don't think they make great hardware. So
and Andy Rubin did actually kind of continue to kind of emphasize the fact that the Motorola acquisition was really, from what he said here anyways, way more about the patent portfolio than it was about kind of creating their own devices and being super close to the hardware side of things. But
but that's what
I mean, this
right
is early
after
days, right?
It's right after that. Let's see where
anything could change.
Let's see where we are in a year from now. I mean,
absolutely. It's hard to know where that'll end up.
A couple more things. He just talked about the Android market. It's going to get better exponentially soon. What I thought was interesting in this quote is that he says, "I recognize that we were a little behind." I mean, it's kind of nice to just kind of own up to or recognize things the way that it's very fair. I did like this tidbit here when Walt Mossberg asked him, how come Android tablets have completely flopped in the marketplace?
Walt.
And Andy Rubin says, well, it didn't completely flop. And he talked about how there's 6 million tablets. Comparatively, okay, yeah, if you're going to compare to 30 million, that's kind of not fair. But it was just an interesting, I don't know.
Would you say they completely flopped? Would you guys think?
I wouldn't call it a complete
I wouldn't call it complete flop.
Yeah.
But there is one big leader in the market.
It's
there
not
is
like the
one
playbook.
huge.
The playbook is a
No,
flop.
that is a flop. You're correct.
Right.
But there is a huge leader. Undoubtedly so.
Yeah, but there's a huge leader. There's a huge leader in phones too. I mean, like that's the kind of the challenge that Google's got with Android is kind of climbing up that hill as to where Apple's already perched. Like the iPad has been out longer than Android tablets. Like Google's constantly playing catch up in this regard. So constantly being compared to it, I don't think is really fair. And 6 million in the marketplace is pretty good.
And I have to imagine.
Why isn't it fair though?
Because it's not. I mean,
because 30 million to 6.
Well, no, but I'm just.
I don't know. I just think that there clearly is a leader right now, and like you said, there is a catch up, and I do think you should compare.
No, I think you should compare, but to judge Android tablets performance based on iPad's performance, I don't think is totally fair. I mean, because you got a lot of market fragmentation in terms of the different people that are putting it out there. There's a lot of education as to what the platform is, and you're up against Apple's massive marketing campaign and a head start. So yeah, I mean, you should compare it, but I don't think 6 million versus 30 million is a flop.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is the word flop, right?
Yeah.
They're second out of 4. The bottom 2, I think you could easily say have flopped.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they're in the top half.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. And somebody like Walt Mossberg saying, why have you flopped? It's a loaded question.
Yeah, it is a loaded
I know.
question.
I
Absolutely.
like loaded questions.
And you know what?
They're
And I would imagine that Google, to a certain extent, would kind of agree with what we're talking about here, in the sense that ice cream sandwich, they put a lot of faith into the fact that ice cream sandwiches really is powerful and good enough to kind of change the tide there too. So even if it was a quote unquote flop, it kind of doesn't matter if ice cream sandwich does for tablets what Google probably thinks it's going to do. So.
And I think, Justin, did you put in a couple of these other quick tidbits from the talk? Was that you?
No.
That was you.
Yeah, I put these
Jason,
in. When asked about the lack of honeycomb apps, Rubin said he doesn't think there should be apps specific for a tablet, claiming that with Ice Cream Sandwich, of course, all apps will run well on tablets. I think what's kind of interesting about that is, now granted, Ice Cream Sandwich itself is supposed to be the unifier. Everything okay with your phone? Is it just broken?
We're doing our best.
I'm sorry. I'm trying my best to not show everybody the fact that my phone, I don't know, I've probably broken another device.
Oh, no.
We'll see.
Well, you've
But
got
anyways.
another one right here.
Yeah, hopefully
And
I don't break that one.
it's stylish.
Well, we'll talk about that
It's a
later.
stylish
Sorry.
trick right now. Sorry
I've been
about
trying
that.
to reboot my phone for since we started the show.
I know. All I heard was click, click,
Click, click, click. I keep taking
Like
out
your
a
hard
battery.
Subtly,
Totally.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyways, I just I feel like there's a certain advantage to apps that are created specifically for a tablet in mind. Like maybe I guess it remains to be seen how apps that are working equally on Ice Cream Sandwich on phones versus tablets, how that compares to an app that's created specifically for a tablet, and how those fragments actually operate that way.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you, Jason. I think we talk about this all day long when we design our apps, that people use their tablets differently than they use their phones. They use them in different places, in different ways. So maybe you want to have one app in the sense that you're sharing code between the two, but I don't think you necessarily want the user experience to be the same on your phone as on your tablet.
Absolutely. And then finally, Mossberg asked for a do-over of the face unlock feature because, as you all probably remember,
He just likes to nitpick, doesn't he?
yeah, but it worked.
It worked
It
this
worked
time.
this
It worked.
time.
It
It
did.
totally worked. He
So
tried
it's-
to do it on Walt's face, and it
Yeah,
didn't work,
work.
and then he did it on his, and the demo worked this time. So there you go.
Good on you, face unlock. I still, the jury's out. If it doesn't work all the time or next to all the time really quickly, then I will probably never use it, unfortunately. But we'll see. And then finally, I think you put in this last point.
I did, and this, Andy had more to say after the event. He must have had some other
He just
presser.
wouldn't stop talking.
He wouldn't stop
was at
talking. He's
the
got a
bar
lot to say.
afterwards, and he's like, "No, listen."
Well, he had some interesting things to say in light of Siri being released the week before. He said he thinks that your phone should not be your assistant, and this is his quote: "Your phone is a tool for communicating. You shouldn't be communicating with the phones. You should be communicating with someone on the other side of the phone." That's his thoughts about Siri.
Discuss.
Discuss.
How do
Anybody?
we feel?
I think this is a quote he will regret within the next 5 years.
I kind of agree with you.
Yeah, it comes off kind of petty, kind of.
I think
you
it's
know,
kind of short-sighted.
Yeah.
Because I don't really think that. Okay, this sounds stupid, but I don't really think he feels that way. Like, I mean,
you were
I mean,
really
your phone should
saying,
not be your
Andy.
assistant. You should be connecting with people. Like, connecting with people, I hate to say, is one of the last things I do with my phone a lot of the
No,
time.
Yeah, it's the
kind
last
of
thing.
And I would
changed.
imagine that Google doesn't really care whether I use this to connect with people or not. Making it easier to connect with people in many different ways doesn't just include, talking to them on the phone. There's already voice search. There's already voice commands. So you're kind of doing half of what Siri's doing anyway. Siri just has little snarky comments and maybe has a better kind of algorithm for breaking down what you're asking in true English. And I have to imagine Google's getting there too.
It's turning away at a possible interface adaptation or interface innovation, which doesn't seem to be within the Google kind of innovation kind of
Yeah.
world.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest. I think it's just coming off from a competitive. I said petty earlier. I don't know if that's right, but just kind of. I think short-sighted is more correct.
Yeah.
Until we hear a case of someone leaving their wife for Siri, I think we're okay.
We're okay.
Which is not to say that won't happen
I'm
someday.
sure it will. Yeah.
Oh, weird.
I know, there's a lot of people out there in this world.
Each their own.
All right, yeah, exactly. All right, well, real quick here, we don't have to spend a lot of time on this, but figured I'd just touch on a few of the things that have come out about Ice Cream Sandwich that we missed or that they didn't announce, because there were a couple of kind of interesting things to come out recently. Create ad hoc wireless networks with Wi-Fi Direct. So this is essentially, if you think about what we were talking about NFC and beaming things from one device to another, this is kind of something similar to that, but not requiring NFC, and they didn't really talk about that a whole lot. I don't know. I mean, is this entirely new for Android devices to be able to do this? I'm sure there are apps that allow you to do this already. This is just it built into the OS, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think there was something already built into like Samsung phones that could do this, but I have to say, like, if this kills Bluetooth, which I hate, then I'm all in favor of this.
Oh, okay.
Because Bluetooth just never works.
Yeah, Bluetooth works sometimes or other. I've only recently started using Bluetooth more with my car, and yeah, exactly. Half the time it doesn't work as expected. Ice Cream Sandwich support for USB game controllers and HDMI, something that I believe was built into Honeycomb, but now, with Ice Cream Sandwich, you can do this through the phone. At least I believe that was the case. I could be wrong there. I'm sure someone in the chat will correct me if I'm wrong there. And then finally, Ice Cream Sandwich adding native stylus support.
Well, HTC just got very happy, didn't they?
Yeah.
or not really, because it kind of takes away their
their competitive
whole,
advantage.
Exactly. Yeah, actually,
That's
HTC
very-
probably didn't like that at all.
True. But so those are just a few things. I'm sure there are other things that we'll kind of find out as the Galaxy Nexus and other Ice Cream Sandwich phones hit the market. And we'll talk a little bit later about which phones and devices that those could be.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and bring in our guest, Mario Tapia from Getcha, who's actually here live in his studio. Hey, Tony, can you bring up the chair? Oh, we don't need our guest is going to do that himself. Hi, Mario.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you're talking to the mic, too.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, by
Thank
the
you.
way.
No, I'm
You're
so
our
excited.
first. Well, no, you're not our
Yeah.
first in-studio guest. We've had others, but no,
have
this
you.
is great.
I
Good
know
to have you here.
When I asked you and you said, yeah, you can come on down, I was all excited. I hadn't been in the studio, so I've been watching TWiT shows since 2005. And they
Oh,
always
wow.
they always kept me company on airplane rides and long trips. So
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
That's cool. Where are you based out of? Are you?
I live in San Francisco, and GetJar headquarters are now in San Mateo.
Okay, great.
Cool.
Now, for those of you out there who don't know GetJar, can you just basically you're an alternative store?
Definitely, yeah. You're a third-party alternative app store, probably the largest free app store out there. Definitely in terms of size and volume of users, we're about 30 million uniques per month. And our claim to fame was, well, back when I remember, Eileen, you mentioned that you had a Razor before.
Long time back. The original, yeah.
And
Did everybody have a Razor? Actually, I don't know.
About 150 million people did.
Yeah.
And so in that ecosystem, GetJar kind of ruled the world. In
Yeah.
2004, they opened up a Java app store. That's why GetJar from Java, right?
Oh.
Yes.
That makes a lot
So
more sense.
it does date the company, but then again, it tells a little bit about the history, and it was really an open. It really was the Wild West when it came to app stores. Java, kind of an open development platform, and it was a place for developers to beta test in the beginning. Really, their apps or studios would upload a beta, get feedback from users on bugs, and then definitely put that into an operator's app store. That's what the ecosystem was back then.
I didn't even know. Yeah, I didn't even know the Razor supported apps. That's correct. I never had
Yeah,
one, so I didn't. Yeah. Wow.
So now and it's actually yes, definitely still feature phones are definitely dominant in the emerging markets and around the world. But I think Android is on a very fast click to really overtaking. But can you imagine, Eileen, that when you converted from your Razor to imagine if you had a Razor today and then someone gave you for Christmas an Android phone, you'd be like, oh my God, this is.
Oh,
yeah.
it would
Yeah.
be so
Exactly.
so different. Well, you've gotten a lot of news now. You've got a gold, you got a premium tier. There's even an article here from CNET that's talking about how you're giving away 1 million worth of premium apps. Tell us a little bit about the gold program, and you kind of came out with exclusives, like you had Cut the Rope early, and then until yesterday you had Dolphin HD early as well.
I think I'll start with on the exclusive side. So our exclusivity started almost a year ago with Angry Birds.
I remember that. Yeah.
So
Sorry, got Angry Birds.
yeah.
which kind of brought down the house.
I was
going to
say I remember trying furiously to get Angry Birds.
And I think I had. We were the date had been pushed a few weeks ahead of when we were going to actually have our whole scalability system rolled out, and it was very good for us because it gave us a lot of press, but also a lot of white hairs stressing out. But then that led to a long series of other publishers realizing that I get a lot of special treatment when I launch an exclusive app with GetJar, and we do that. We roll out the red carpet for them, press releases, something that other markets would not do. And I think some of the indies really kind of liked that attention, and so we've been very successful with that. And about a month and a half ago, we launched Gold. And really as a beta trial. So we went as a VIP kind of, we went out to different publishers and asked them, hey, would you like to be in this beta program with us to see about the success? And really it is our way of attracting users to come to GetJar for discovery, and then paying the publishers for the gold titles. And it's really offset by the advertising model that we have. So if you go to getjar.com, whether you're on web and mobile, you'll see these blue shaded backgrounds, which are sponsored apps. And this is another way those sponsored apps are paid for by on a download. So basically it's kind of a pay-per download, pay-per install type of model. And really, so it's not about CPM, it's all about the actual action for the user to download. So we've got about 50 plus, almost 60 titles out there today. We are now, definitely moving with this program through the end of the year, and have. I just saw the kind of the list this morning, and we do have another about 50 in the pipeline that we're working on. So essentially, Gold is Monday through Friday. Every day you see a new app is being released, and our target is really, look at the top 100, 200 that are on Android market and really offer them up for free to the public. And there's actually and with us it actually there's a good model, and at the end of the day it's really for discovery of GetJar, and there's a lot more other apps on GetJar. And I think it's a win-win for our user base, and it's a win-win for the publisher.
So what's the response from developers so far? Because a month ago we had the developers Shifty Jelly on, and they didn't have a great experience with the Amazon App Store. I don't know if you know about that whole
we are we pay the developer. So in the Amazon free app of the day,
right. That was what
it was.
Yeah, you're a little hosed with that type of model. So ours is a very, very different model. So I wanted to have that clarity. We do pay the user. I mean the publisher for the download, and we pay like a paper download back to the publisher.
So a free app that you're offering free that normally is $2.99, I download that for free. You guys still pay the publisher.
We pay out of pocket to the publisher for that.
Yeah, because the whole advertising model.
Yeah,
that makes.
How does the long tail kind of happen around these apps? So when you feature an app as a free app, do you see a lot of kind of raised attention to those apps after they're no longer free? More people kind of exposed to them?
Collaboration between both of us. It's a partnership. So definitely the publisher should promote, and a really good one is Solo. Solo offers a free model on Android market, and we have the full version on GetJar, and they kind of promote and said, hey, you want to get the free version, full free version, go ahead and go to GetJar to get it. So publisher definitely, as part of the partnership, should engage with their own marketing, tweeting, Facebooking, reaching out to their community as well. We do the same. If you look at GetJar's homepage, there's a few positions there for advertising.
Okay.
So you have a paid model where we have a CPM, like a CPM type of slot, and we promote them. So these are like our featured slots.
Yeah. Okay.
And you'll notice that the creatives will have like a price slash through it, and those are definitely all the Gold products that are out there.
Now, the one thing that I have a little bit of frustration with is in terms of app updates, and how do you encourage? And I know it's up to the developers to update their apps.
Yeah.
How do you encourage them? Because I downloaded Paper Camera a while ago, and I still don't have the update on GetJar. I'd have to go buy it on the Android marketplace, and I know that the update's available, and it's a really crucial update. So how do you encourage them to do that? Because that's the one frustrating thing, and I think.
It's not just GetJar.
It's not just you. It's also
alternative marketing in general.
You have stumbled onto a major problem for third-party app stores and publishing to alternative places, is getting the app updates. And so we definitely internally, through the beta tests, we started to recognize these issues. Like, hey, what about the updates? We saw the frequency of apps being updated, and didn't expect that type of frequency happening. But for example, Paper Camera, going after the publisher, trying to get the latest versions to update. There'll be probably some modifications to their agreement with their publishers to request app updates as part of it. And really, it's up to the publisher at the end of the day. If they want to, we can try and enforce some agreement type of stuff like that. But big issue, and I think you've been talking a few times.
I know. I'm still complaining. Sorry.
I was listening to the September 12th podcast.
Is that when I complained?
Yeah, that was like the first one.
That's when I had the good idea. The good idea for the tube mogul-esque for.
But definitely, it's an issue with a lot of third party, and you can probably see a lot more third parties come and go.
Okay.
In this space. But definitely we are addressing it, and on both sides, both on the technological side and also for actually getting the alerts and notifications for updates, but also then getting the publishers to update their versions.
Quick question from G+. I put out a little call. This is from Antonio, who says, can you ask how they're going to police the apps in their store?
And that was a question, the similar question I had, which is, or do you get applications that are denied from the Android market, but then they come to you for a kind of safe harbor or that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yes, I think, hey, we are an open app store, and in terms of content, we do have an adult category. It's not touted.
Hey-o.
You have to go to categories, but you have to search for it. Look,
There you go, categories.
and you.
There goes Ron right now. He's gonna
Oh, it's
look
at the
for
bottom.
it.
There it is. Hey-o.
Ron, stay with us.
So,
And
but,
the top adult one is Contract Killer Zombies.
Oh.
So not what you
Is it-
thought.
yeah.
Not what you thought in the adult section.
Oh, and Iris is up there.
Yeah. So and this is funny. So, and there's a fix for this. Okay. So, when publishers put adult content, actually, if you go to Android Market, they're classified as adult. And actually, so when we read those in, we actually see them as adult categories. But that's being fixed right now. That's why.
Right. That's like videos by Break is under as is Untapped in the beer rated.
Okay.
But then so is SexTube. So,
Yeah.
there you go.
And then I thought this was a family show.
I'm so embarrassed, Ron. Oh, I'm turning red.
Ooh, is it hot in here?
All about Android after dark.
All about
I think we've got a new show.
Well, so what you're talking about here kind of addresses what my main question was, and it seems like anytime we have someone on to interview, I always end up with this whole differentiation question, which really applies to when you're talking about alternative markets, because the majority of people on Android are going to use the Google market because it's what is pre-installed on their device. It's what they're used to. It's the first thing they turn to. It's got the hugest library or whatever.
Sure.
So then it's incumbent upon you to create it, differentiate. And I realize that. But you've kind of answered that a little bit. I don't know. What are there other ways that you specifically target kind of consumers and downloaders to say, hey, this is what we do to make things different for you?
Got it. So obviously we have some programs that address the publishers to get involved, and then two now with just users and as a user base. So in last spring we did some experimentation with Facebook Connect for social connections and see what your friends have downloaded, and we're about maybe 1.5 million up to 2 million connected users, and it's been growing at a good rate. And this was maybe just to show with your friends what you've downloaded, and you can share that, post it to your Facebook wall, etc.
Sure.
So a few things in the pipeline are definitely about discovery. So these are going to be the big differentiators. With imagine a catalog of 1 million apps, and we'll probably be there within the year of 1 million ingested apps. How do you do that? I mean, search is okay. That's okay, but then how do you know about my interests? How do you go through 1 million? And you have maybe 30 seconds to 90 seconds to really find that before ADD kicks in and you lose that person's attention.
It's a challenge.
So
It's a challenge.
So definitely discovery, usability. So these are some of the areas that you have to take a look at into app stores for differentiation and customization. Look at my history. Look at what my interests are. Look at my, go to your Facebook profile. Look at things like that as well. Sure. So definitely, those are going to be the bigger differentiators for these third-party app stores. What do you bring to the table that's better? So my example would be, and this is, I think people started to understand why. Why do you use Yelp and not the Yellow Pages? Right? What's different about that? And you think about that. So then you say, oh yeah, it has this, it has that, it's user-generated content. So there's a lot of cases that why do you use Google Maps versus MapQuest or another, right?
Because it's 2011 and not 2003.
Exactly. so, but hey, some people.
I feel
use
bad
MapQuest,
for the
so.
I feel bad for the MapQuest developers. They work really hard.
Okay, there's.
But people can get to you. It's web based, right? It's getjar.com. Do you guys have an app?
Yeah, www.getjar.com. And also m.getjar.com, but we do the device detection.
Right. Why not develop an app that is like a marketplace
app? So actually we do have. So if you go to getjar.com and you have Android, right now we kind of require
Chad, you can show my screen
to
to
download
the
Getjar app.
Okay.
And that's a native APK.
Okay, cool.
So
cool,
it's
because I've always used the web.
You might have heard Hybrid in the past.
Yeah.
So kind of like it's our own version of a mullet, kind of business in the front, party in the back.
Nice.
So you kind of have a web front end with a lot of brains in the background doing things for you.
Cool.
So yeah,
Very cool.
There's a lot of cool stuff in the gold section right now. So, well, Mario, thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks for coming by and,
thanks for
chatting
having us.
about Get Jar.
Awesome, very excited.
And all the best.
Yeah. No, thank you. It looks like the Nautilus here from Captain Nemo. So,
I know, yeah.
the
That was,
greens,
yeah.
I feel like I'm in a
That's
submarine
Leo.
here. So cool.
Well, awesome.
Right
Future
on.
time. Feel free to hang out and,
cool.
check out the rest of the show. And yeah. All right.
Cool. All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you guys.
Thanks, man.
That's Get Jar. Check it out. Before we move on to our hardware section, we might as well take a quick break and thank our sponsor, Ford.
New sponsor.
New
Whoop,
sponsor,
whoop.
no kidding. Ford Sync specifically. One of the latest technologies for Ford Sync and My Ford Touch is Wi-Fi connectivity. This feature can turn your car into a Wi-Fi hotspot, traveling Wi-Fi hotspot, giving you and your passengers internet access for up to 5 devices at once. So here's how it works. You establish an internet connection to the Wi-Fi hotspot by plugging in your portable wireless access card. If you have a BlackBerry, you connect to the hotspot wirelessly through Bluetooth. Next, you connect up to 5 Wi-Fi enabled devices to the hotspot using, of course, a secure password, and that's it. You're in. So now you and your passengers can access, all the music, browse the internet, download apps, play games via Wi-Fi. So it's very handy. You can connect your laptops, tablet, mobile phones, internet devices, all of the hotspot. Up to 5. So you can do up to 5 devices at once. Pretty sweet. All without any additional expense or subscription. So Ford Sync with My Ford Touch featuring Wi-Fi connectivity available in the 2012 Ford Focus. You can learn more about this and other technologies Ford is bringing to its vehicles at ford.com/technology.
See,
We
that's
thank them so
handy.
much for their support. It's awesome.
That would be so. I'm always needing to be connected, and I will have my my computer with me, and I just need to do a quick little
Yeah.
and I don't necessarily have my MiFi or whatever coming on. So
Totally.
that would be very, very handy.
Traveling hotspot. I like
Yeah.
it. All right, cool. Let's move on to hardware. All right, Ron.
All
what
right,
you got?
so much hardware news. Well,
You
the
got-
the biggest question coming out of last week about Ice Cream Sandwich was, when am I going to get it? And even though I spent all week updating my system updates and not getting it, there's a lot of news as to when I might, giving us clues as to when we might get it. So to run this down real quickly, so technically, according to Google, if a phone can run gingerbread, it can run Ice Cream Sandwich.
Right.
So that's a good clarification to know. So if your phone is running gingerbread, you're going to be cool. You're going to be all set.
It's whether the hardware manufacturers decide to port it over.
So yeah, so I've got a Samsung Nexus S in my hand, and according to Samsung, there are no official plans for upgrades yet.
No official.
None. Although
That's
Google,
the Google phone.
Google says that the Nexus S is getting Ice Cream Sandwich for sure, and possibly Nexus 1 too. So you'd imagine that's going to happen sooner rather than later.
I would guess that Nexus S might be one of the first after the Galaxy
I
That's
Nexus.
would
why
think
I was
so.
pressing update all weekend. That's why.
Okay. Yeah, but not before.
Not before the
That would be a
phone
big
comes
slide.
out.
Yeah, that'd be a big change, of course.
But so there's more. So Motorola announced that the Razr is going to get an updated Ice Cream Sandwich in early 2012, and Motorola did confirm that Ice Cream Sandwich is coming to the Zoom, which I have your Zoom at home, which I hope to get Ice Cream Sandwich on. Thank you for that. by
Who
the way.
knows?
You're
Maybe you'll
welcome.
get it on there before.
Yeah.
I was hitting update on that as well
Oh
too.
my God.
Of course you were.
Motorola also announced that according to a rep on Facebook, that the Motorola Droid Bionic will get Ice Cream Sandwich 2 someday.
Someday.
So
Someday.
there you go. There's some specifics.
It was called out, and it was one of the newer phones, that
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people kind of bid on. So.
A rep from HTC said as many HTC devices as possible will be upgraded to Ice Cream Sandwich with no further details. So if you're on HTC,
Pretty open-ended there.
Yeah, kind of.
Hopefully the Incredible.
Yep.
But I guess
Yeah,
by
I'm
that.
still waiting for gingerbread on mine.
Oh, okay.
You know what, Justin? You're just
skip
going to
it.
get the new phone.
Yeah,
Skip
totally.
it. Get the next
Yeah.
Galaxy
Move on to the
Nexus.
latest craze. Asus said that Ice Cream Sandwich on existing tablets before the year's end. So Asus is being aggressive about it, saying before
That's
the year
pretty
ends,
aggressive.
we're gonna do
They're
it.
so aggressive, those guys.
Yeah, I like
All
it.
That's great.
right.
And the fans of the Transformer, will be jumping up and down saying, "See, we told you this is a really awesome tablet," as they've told us many times.
Exactly. Well, jumping ahead to that, Chad, you can pull that back up. The Transformer Prime made an appearance at that
right.
same conference, the D conference, whatever it is, and the landing page went live, and we've got a formal launch of November 9th for the Transformer Prime. So all you fans of the Prime product name, you can come a couple of weeks away, you can grab it. And it's going to be running on NVIDIA's new quad-core Tegra 3 processor, and it's got the keyboard dock kind of coolio thing going on there. It's a neat little device. I got to give him credit.
Look at that.
Yeah, look at
he
that.
came out with a briefcase and then opened it up and then showed that off.
Yeah, go to 610. Go to 610 and because I think right around there you start to see. No. This is not.
That's not it. Yeah.
He's right around 610. He pulls out the tablet and shows you how it connects into the dock. So it's super thin.
Yep.
And then that's the little laptop dock underneath, on Walt's lap, and it looks like a pretty
cool.
slick device.
That's and that Asus guy's proud of it.
A quad core. So I don't know if that's the first tablet to be doing the quad core. I'm not quite sure. Justin, do you have a tablet, an Android tablet?
Well, I'm actually sitting in our media lab where we have about 20 different tablets, but personally, I carried just the iPad.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Well, and you've used plenty of the other Android tablets as well, and you're very versed in the iPad. What has been your opinion of the two?
I mean, for me, it's just about the app ecosystem. I like Android tablets, but if I want to watch, video on there, and I want, the PBS Kid app for my son, and I want the ABC app and the NBC app, they just don't have that for Android yet. And pretty much the iPad for me is like a video device.
I've run into the same thing. I mean, as we mentioned earlier, I have my iPad, and I do use it for Netflix and for the NBC app and things like that. But I find myself looking at both the Zoom and the iPad going, okay, well, which one's got the apps I need? Which ones do I want? Like where I went on a plane, I brought a bunch of movies. I didn't want to have to convert them to H.264 and do all that stuff. So I just threw them on the Zoom and brought them on the plane. So I'm in a similar position as you. That's kind of interesting. I never thought about it that way. So. Cool. So one last little bit of ice cream sandwich. If you're a Sony Ericsson customer or user, they've got general plans to upgrade with no specifics. So sit tight.
They're all rah-rahing about, we're going to update. Just not going to tell you when.
We will keep track of all the ice cream sandwich rollouts and keep you updated on a weekly basis.
That's right.
Perhaps we can get some sort of
half of our show every week will be telling you whether you're getting it or not.
Device by device.
An update.
I want to be in front of a map, a green screen, and be like the weather report. It's like this just in from the ice cream sandwich headquarters.
Motorola land.
The situation room, the ice cream sandwich.
Yes, exactly.
Love it. All right. Well, real quick here, the Galaxy Nexus and its screen has kind of been, in the news the last couple of days, because the one thing you didn't hear about this screen. Well, let me back up. Okay, so the Samsung Galaxy S2 has the Super AMOLED Plus screen, right? This was a really good way for me to learn a little bit more about these screen technologies. Plus actually means each pixel has an RGB. Inside the specific pixel. The Galaxy Nexus actually has a Super AMOLED screen, no plus. And what that means is that there's no RGB stripe, right? So it's a pentile screen. And if you go back to a few episodes ago when we talked about the Droid Bionic, one of my big complaints about it was the screen pentile, because as you look at it really closely, you kind of see this little seesaw pattern, because essentially what's happening is it's basically a cheaper approach that allows different pixels to share RGB between them. So not each pixel has this RGB. It's kind of borrowing them from different lines, to put it very simply. So you end up seeing a little bit of that kind of seesaw pattern when you put it under a microscope or even just look at it really close. Anantech actually had some fancy graphs that detail the reality when it comes to pixel density in the screen compared to other players. And overall, they claim that if the pixel density of the Samsung Galaxy S2 doesn't bother you, then this shouldn't either, despite the presence of the pentile screen, because, the resolution is just a lot sharper.
We had Tim Stevens on TWiT yesterday, editor-in-chief of Engadget, and he actually saw the device. He went to Hong Kong, went there Monday, came back Thursday.
That's awesome.
So he mentioned that there was a green, and Tech Bum in the chat room keeps saying green tint, green tint. He mentioned he saw that on the phone, and I don't know if just another update would correct that, because we were talking pre-show about how the Nexus S had a yellow tint or something to some of the devices, and then they updated that as well.
Yeah, they updated the software, and that actually fixed the problem.
Yeah, and that update was a color temperature kind of issue,
Exactly.
which is a tweaking thing. As it's a new device, they've got
If you're getting a total hue on your screen, it makes sense that you could do some sort of software fix to tweak.
So my question, because the Droid Bionic really bothered you in that screen, do you think is going to be a problem for you, Jason? Because this is your next phone.
Well,
I'm telling you, this is your next phone.
I honestly don't, and especially after I read the Anantech article, where it kind of puts up the density kind of charts side by side, and when you take a look at the pixel density comparison, Chad, if you happen to have it, it's linked to from the Engadget article. I should have put a separate link to there. But it's very close to what you see as the pixel density on the iPhone 4S. It's probably I think it's the closest competitor to that kind of sharpness, the sharpness that you get on the Retina display. And I was actually very interested to see that 2 steps down from it, removed from it, is the original Motorola Droid, which I always thought had an amazing screen. Like, okay, granted, it was small, but it was really sharp and really clear. And so if it's already scoring above the Motorola Droid, which I know looked great to me, and it's just a tiny bit, down from the iPhone 4S, I think I'll be okay. Obviously, jury's out until I see it, but it would, it's not, Bionic isn't even on this list. So, Bionic didn't even score for this chart. And I imagine if it was anywhere near, it would have been on here because it's one of the new big phones that's come out recently. So, and I couldn't not see it on the Bionic. So I have a feeling it's going to be okay.
Okay. Well, there you go. We've also been doing some product reviews in-house, and we're going to be doing more of these. And we're going to show one. Now, this is an older phone that's been out for a while, the Droid Charge, and TWiT's own Ayaz Akhtar did a quickie review. So let's throw that up there.
I'm Ayaz Akhtar, and I've got myself the Samsung Droid Charge, which is a phone that runs on Verizon's 4G LTE network. And let's take a look at the hardware up front. First, you'll notice the design, this V shape. Either you're going to love it or hate it. You got 4 tactile buttons here. These are not capacitive. You actually have to press them and have a pretty good travel. And of course, you'll see this gigantic 4.3-inch Super AMOLED screen, which is crazy bright and has great viewing angles. And up top, we have a 1.3 megapixel camera. And now we're going to show you the less exciting sides, like the actual side over here. We have a power button, a little door for an HDMI port. We have a spot for the microphone. And on the side here, we have a USB port, which also charges the device, and you can access the micro SD card right there, a volume rocker, and up top, we have a standard mini jack, so you can actually plug in your headphones if you would like. On the back, 8-megapixel camera, which we'll talk about in a second, and we have the ability to take off the door, where we have a battery and an intelligently placed micro SD card slot, where you can actually remove the card without taking out the battery. Now, on the back, you will see it is slick, and there is a bump. That's right, the Samsung Droid Charge has back, but it lets you hold the device a lot easier when you want to actually take a picture. This is slick, okay? This is a very nice shiny plastic, but when you're holding it on for a camera, or a nice camera shot, you can do that. So it's actually a pretty handy feature. Then again, it might not fit well in your pocket with this shape, so that's something you'll have to consider yourself. Inside this thing, by the way, this is powered by a 1 gigahertz Samsung Hummingbird processor, single core only, so that might be a hang-up. And, of course, this is a Samsung phone, so it has Samsung's TouchWiz UI. So you are not getting a pure Android experience. What you're getting is a very iPhone-y kind of feel. You could see, instead of scrolling up and down, you can get through your applications with swipes that way. Touchscreen is very responsive and, again, very, very bright, very easy to see in brightly lit situations. All right, so this is an Android device. So battery life on this thing, if you run a lot of applications at one time, you can kill this pretty fast. Now, I managed to have about 10 applications running at once, and I killed it in about 2 hours. Now, that was a little crazy. However, if you were an intelligent person and you wanted to use your phone, I don't know, maybe on a long trip, I got this thing to run over 6 hours of continuous video with the volume at halfway with headphones in. So if you want to use this on a cross-country flight, you could. On top of that, what's crazy about that, it wasn't done at 6 hours. It just said, hey, you might want to start charging the device. So it has some crazy battery life. That's probably due to the fact that it has a single core processor in there, and I wasn't running it on the LTE network because that doesn't show up here in Petaluma. But I've heard it's pretty dang fast if you actually have access to that. Call quality on the Verizon network was great, and the speakerphone was loud and clear. The 8-megapixel camera takes good photos if you're willing to wait. Here's the thing, there's a big lag. We're going to take a photo of something over there. Going to hit, and 1, 2, 3. Wow, that is incredibly slow. So if you want spontaneous moments, do yourself a favor and take a picture of Tom Merritt, and you'll find out that it'll take seconds for this thing to focus. Now, we might have had him blurrily walking away because this thing takes forever. No, there he is, right there. Again, you can see the display is really nice, but man, does it take a long time. Videos on this look pretty good if you have good lighting. The front camera for photos, I mean, it's supposed to be able to focus. I didn't get it to focus very well. It took a lot of work to go freeze here for a long time, and that was very disappointing. At $299, this is a hard sell. It's running Android 2.2, so you don't get some cool features like some things on Google Hangout. You don't get to do that kind of stuff. And apparently the next time it's getting updated is Ice Cream Sandwich, which should be around the corner, but no, there is no gingerbread on this thing. So is the Droid Charge something you should buy, try, or just say goodbye to? Well, there's a lot of things about this that maybe make it a try. Thing is, single core processor may be a deal breaker for some. The form factor may be another issue for others. The battery life is really good on this thing. But the thing that makes this just a try is that it's Android 2.2 and it is not expected to get an update until Ice Cream Sandwich. It is not going to get gingerbread from what I've read on forums. So that makes it definitely a try. This could be a great phone for some people. For super powered people who want dual core, this is not the phone. I'm Ayaz Akhtar with TWiT.tv, and this is the Droid Charge.
Thank you, Ayaz.
Cool.
He said to try it.
Try it.
Try it.
Just try it. Just try it. What do you got to lose?
I tried it in the store.
Well, there you go. You tried it.
I tried it in the store when we were upgrading my wife's phone.
Someone just said in the chat room you could try by going to the store.
There you go.
I feel like that should be a grade. It should be like buy it or try it in the store. And
Yeah. Well, anyways.
Yeah. So the Droid Charge, and Ayaz, that was his first Android
I
experience
know.
too.
Yeah, I thought it is funny. John Finkus in the chat room said this is a very thoughtful review. He's a very thoughtful guy.
Yeah.
So he put a lot of
He
effort
did a
into
good
it, and we
review
thank him for checking that phone out for
All
us.
right, we're switching things up a little bit. We're going to jump into the arena right now.
2 enter, 1 lives. Android Arena.
Okay, before we take a look at this week's apps,
I forgot to check.
we got to take a look at last week's apps. So they were voice commands, Siri competitors.
Wow.
And let's see here. It looks like Vlingo won first place, 47% of the votes. Speak to It, second at 29%. And Stock, or voice commands, I think is what it's called, third place with 24%. So
Wow.
Still
Vlingo
love
came
you,
out on top.
Brazil. Yep. Congratulations.
Vlingo came out on top.
Congratulations.
That's okay.
I still love you,
actually
Brazil.
Vlingo.
I
use it
took
all the time.
Japan, which I see as a cutting edge.
Yes,
kind of
they are very
grouping,
cutting edge. I've got Norway and Poland too.
I got all of North America.
Nice.
Okay, fine.
I was going after.
I got Serbia, so there.
Yeah.
Oh, and I got the Netherlands. That's really all that matters. Just kidding.
All right, so this week we're going to lighten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's always nice to go back to the games section, the games reviews, because otherwise I don't play a whole lot of games. So this way I do. And actually, Justin, we're going to go ahead and start with yours because you're bringing a new game to the arena. Why don't you talk about it, and I'll see if I can pull it up on my tablet and play it a little bit.
All right. So mine, actually, I'm stealing this from my current Android Atlas co-host, Antoine Goodwin. This is Battle Bears Zombies. And I'm talking about the light version, but they have a paid version and an ad-supported version. And basically what you do is you get a gun and you shoot cute little bears. And what could be more fun than that? It's a really simple game. You just, have it in landscape mode, and one finger controls your aim, the other controls the shooting, and occasionally you got to reload. And it's really simple. There's actually a bunch of different versions of Battle Bears, but Battle Bears Zombies is the sort of phone-based one that's super easy to play.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time getting it to play on my tablet, so I'm going to load it up on my phone here. And
basically, those bears, those pink bears, are trying to hug him, right? And so...
You don't want that.
You don't want to be hugged, or at least, our main guy doesn't want to be hugged. So you just shoot him, and then when they
there's
die...
zombie bears, right?
Yeah, when they die, don't they have, rainbows that come out of them or something?
Yeah, their head comes off and rainbows shoots out of their head.
Okay.
There you go, Jason. Let's see it.
Do I actually shoot them, or...?
Yeah, you shoot them. Go.
I mean, 2 fingers. One to aim and one to shoot.
Well, yeah, but I am. And it's not doing anything.
Use your other thumb.
Your other thumb, yeah.
Yeah, use the thumb ring.
I gotcha. Oh, the thumb ring. The power of the thumb ring. Oh, no, don't hug me. Ah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're gonna be.
You had me a thumb ring.
Hurry up! Oh, he's coming.
What's hard to believe is that they require you to have a thumb ring in order to play the game.
Yeah, see, if I took this thumb, I'm not going to demonstrate it, but if I took the thumb ring off, it wouldn't play. The power of thumb ring compels me.
Those of you guys listening in audio, you're shooting, and then the heads pop off of the bear, and there's
It's like little
rainbows,
rainbows, right? Yeah.
that kind of come out, kind of like, what do you call that? Surprise, like silly tube thing?
Silly string.
Silly string, like, ooh, there's all these silly or just it's rainbows.
Oh,
Kill them, Jason.
I'm trying to kill the
They're going to
cute, cuddly
infect you
bears.
with hugs.
And
yeah,
it kind
so
of feels wrong playing
I like
this
it because
game.
you can just get in there, shoot a couple bears, and get out. You don't have
Yeah.
to be playing all day long.
Oh, look at that big bear.
there's
Oh,
a
God.
big bear you got to shoot.
no.
Here it
I
comes.
swear I am. Okay, I was just...
So,
I got to get used to playing sideways like this and improve my game playing skills all awkwardly like this.
You're doing pretty good for a first timer.
All right, thanks. I appreciate that.
well, that's
right
great.
on. Nice. So, this was kind of a port over from. Okay, go away, bear.
There's really cute
From
cutscenes
from
too.
iOS, right?
Yeah, I think they have iOS versions. There's a tablet version that actually is a little more complex, but they have a whole slew of games. But if you just want to get your feet wet, free one, Battle Bear Zombies Lite.
Nice.
Free is good, and even the paid edition just 99 cents. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's nothing.
No, yeah, it's only 99 cents.
Yeah.
Impulse buy.
Yeah.
Easy to do. Cool. Well, I know that you have to split, Justin, and I'm sorry that we always go long.
We talk too much.
we do
You should
talk.
apologize to your listeners for that, not to me.
No. Honestly, we hear from a lot of them. They're like, no, keep talking. We're like, no, you don't want us to keep
Yeah.
talking. But
They hear the
Justin,
same.
thank you so much for joining us for as long as you could today. It was really awesome to do an Android show with you again.
Yeah, you as well. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Why don't you go ahead and plug your stuff? Plug what you're up to.
All right, if you want to watch our show, we are live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. cnet.com/Android Atlas, or you can follow me on Twitter. I am not my real name.
With
Figure that out.
Mulder's avatar. It always throws me off. I always
There you
think
go.
I'm at replying Mulder, but it's actually you.
I was actually wondering if I held up a picture of Mulder to my new ice cream sandwich phone with face detection, if it would unlock my phone.
I don't know. I think that might be the first thing that you do when you
I
get
definitely will.
a report on it. Right on. Well, Justin, thanks again, and best of luck. We'll talk to you soon.
See you
Bye,
later.
Justin. Thank you.
All right, well, I will go ahead and review my game. I am doing a game called Air Attack HD. And I'll just go ahead and start by saying that I'm a huge fan of the video game, the old arcade game 1942.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's one of my favorite classic games. Air Attack HD is very similar to it. It's got the same kind of fun factor to it. It's a little confusing in the market. There is part 1 that's free. Part 2 is, I think, $1.99, or you can get the full, which is, I think, part 1 and 2 merged for $2.99. So I don't understand why the price difference there. But essentially, the reason they do that is because some devices don't allow for the large size of the single download. So you can have it as one file, or you can download it as 2 individuals. But what that means for you is you can try half the game for free. Air Attack Part 1 is completely free, and it's a lot of fun. So I'll go ahead and start a new game here at medium, start, and we'll just jump right into it here. And yeah, it's just very similar to 1942. You've got a little plane that you can fly around, a little bomber. You can drop bombs if you like. You just basically click and drag.
That
and
looks great on your tablet.
yeah, and
really
it's,
cool,
yeah, it's a
actually.
lot of fun. I'm playing it sideways and with a delay here, so pardon me. But you've got little kind of one-ups that you can collect. If there are ground enemies, you can double tap and it will throw a bomb onto the ground. And the planes just kind of come out and do the kind of patterns that you see a lot if you play 1942 or any of the games kind of like that. They all have their own kind of patterns that they fly out in, and if you know the patterns, you can do really, really well on a level. See, I'll drop a bomb on that boat down there, and it's just a lot of fun. It's kind of a pretty dead simple kind of game to pick up and just launch right into it and continue where you left off. And I don't know, it's really satisfying. Games like this can either be boring as you play through them, or they can, you know, like the explosions and kind of the reaction, the response when you're moving, you know, your character across the screen and shooting, blowing things up can be really satisfying. And I find it pretty satisfying in this game to totally obliterate and destroy things. So, I mean, there isn't really a whole lot more to be said about this game other than the fact that, like, as you continue on, which I probably won't get there, I just got a checkpoint. Oh, I will. See, so you've got shop. So you can essentially go into a shop and using all the coins and kind of power-ups that you get throughout the game, you can upgrade your gear so you can get a second plane to go, you know, to the side of you, kind of similar to what you had in 1942, or you can get a wider shot, or you can get flamethrower. You can get all these different upgrades,
like power-ups kind of thing.
Power-ups, exactly, like homing rockets. I'll go ahead and buy that. Why not? And we'll just go ahead and get back to the game. And then, yeah, so you can kind of switch to the different weapons and use them to your benefit.
It looks really fluid. I'm just watching
It
it
is.
kind of, you know, maneuvering around the screen, and I like that. I like that it's very responsive.
Yeah, it is.
It's not, you know, kind of stuttering at all. It looks great.
And it
on the
looks
tablet.
fantastic on the tablet. It's perfect for the tablet, although it also, you know, runs really well on the phone. But it's just, you know, the graphics are really nice. The only thing that I run into every once in a while is I get really into it and my finger ends up going off the screen.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you do it too far off, then suddenly it doesn't pick up your movement when you come back on. So you kind of have to lift your finger to drop it down again. But that's kind of minor. That's my problem, not theirs. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So that's Air Attack HD. You can get the first part for free. Second part for $1.99, or you can download the entire game for $2.99. Although I kind of don't know why you would, because you could get it all for $1.99. But
Okay.
You gamed it.
To each his own.
You gamed the system.
I don't know. They offer it all through the same market page, so it's not like anyone would notice. But anyways, go check it out. Air Attack HD. I'm a big fan.
Okay, I guess I'll go next. I have a really simple game that I think actually if you have kids, they're really going to like. And it's going to look a little similar, just not angry. My game is called Early Bird, and it's 99 cents in the Android marketplace. It was actually one of the featured games, and I thought, well, okay, I keep seeing Early Bird everywhere. I'm going to try this. So basically, you are a bird, but you are not angry. You are you're early, and what you need to do is grab the worm at the end of your, I guess, mission or of that certain level that you're at. And there's tons of levels. I have been playing it very lightly, so I'm not completely.
So Early Bird gets the worm.
Yeah, Early Bird
that's
gets the
clever.
worm.
I see what they did
Get
there.
that? So it's got some really cute music. This is why I think kids are going to like it. So you're this blue bird, and I'm still in the breezy meadow. There's many, many, many other levels here. Like you would see, it looks, the interface is, it really reminds me of Angry Birds. Look at all the levels. I'll go back to an older one that I didn't do too great at.
This is such a kind of like a template now. The world.
Yeah.
But it's
cool.
perfect for mobile games.
Exactly, it's a very
Rafael did a great job.
casual game. So here I am, and I've got 3 swipes. Every level has 3 or 4 swipes, and that's all you got. Now you got to get to the worm at the end. The one thing I don't like is that if you want to restart, you have to. It does the whole maneuver like here it is. Here's where you need to go.
I hate that when they do the tutorial.
Yeah,
stuff.
When I reload, just get me back right here. So I'm gonna swipe him.
Oh, cool.
And looks like I only used 2 swipes. And I got the worm.
So did those little spinny things push you up even more too?
Those pushed me up, yeah.
Cool.
No, yeah, so you have different things like that.
There's
where you've
physics involved.
There's a lot of physics involved, which I really like. Sometimes you have to bounce off a wall. Bouncing off a wall will help you. Here we've got, flowers that are helping you propel you up. And here I've got 4 swipes. Oh, it's kind of hard to...
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And there we fly. Oh, come on, dude. Yeah. All right. So we got the worm in 2 swipes. Or I did 2, right? Or 1?
Sure,
I think it was 2.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's the basic mechanics of the games. I'm sure it gets more difficult as you move on. I'm sure there's more help that you get from various plants
they're probably like different tools
lots of different tools. See, here's where you use a wall to help bounce you, but it's just similar. You just swipe. Oh, hello.
Nice.
You like that? You like them apples?
I don't even
if
know
you're
how you
watching
just
the
did
video?
that.
That was amazing.
You just blew my mind.
It's a really, really cute game. And
There's a high score
again,
submitted there.
Oh, yeah, look at that. And 3 stars. Thank you very much. Tons of levels, again, like I said, and only 99 cents. I was really impressed. I can't wait to get to the Dusty Mesa, the Flurry Peak. Man, I got a long way to go. And then there's more coming soon. You know they always add, like, special. I'm sure they're going to add, like, special Christmas levels or whatever. But I really think it's an easy game, a very easy, casual game to play. And I think kids will like it if you have them.
That's cool. I mean, I'm seeing a little flack in the chat room saying, "Oh, it's totally an Angry Birds ripoff or whatever." But it, you know, I think the concept kind of seems very similar to Angry Birds. But the gameplay, I mean, some of the mechanics are, but the gameplay is very different.
It's different,
I mean,
it's a different kind of mechanics. It's a different kind of physics.
Yes, you're flipping a bird.
Flip that bird.
Yes, you're flipping a bird across the screen.
It kind of reminds me of Sonic the Hedgehog a little bit, with how there's the bouncing and the things that make you, that lift you up and stuff like that. Where Angry Birds was just figuring out the angle and knocking over the stuff and using the bombs and things like that. Yeah. So.
And who cares if it kind of adapted from Angry Birds? It's
fun and it's different.
Everything's derivative.
Exactly.
Is there anything original? No.
Yeah, it's different and it's fun and it's just a different kind of game in that same sort of universe.
Totally.
And I get bored with stuff, so I want to have new games to play, new birds to play with.
Absolutely.
Right,
okay, Ron.
Flip that bird.
Flip that bird.
All right. So when I play games, it's typically I'm on the Muni in San Francisco. I'm on the bus, and I only have a couple minutes. So I'm a very casual game player. I don't really get too involved with stuff. But I actually downloaded. Normally, also, I don't download like the name brand versions of games. But I saw that in the Android marketplace a couple weeks ago. I saw that there was the official version of Jenga available, and
nice.
I'm a big Jenga fan. I actually happen to own Jenga.net, which I almost got sued for in 2000.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You still own it?
I still own it. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
They don't want it?
They wanted it, and then they threatened me with a lawsuit, and I told them bring it on, and then I haven't heard from them since. So that was like 2000.
I was going to say you should still sell it.
So I still have it. Yeah.
Okay.
But there's nothing. I'm not doing anything with it. But anyway.
Okay.
But so a big fan of Jenga. So I want to see what it was like on the phone, and sure enough, it was actually pretty cool. So if we can, I'll load it right up here. You can see there's an Android marketplace. Now it's $2.99, so it's a little expensive, but it's $3. It's worth it. I've gotten $3 worth of entertainment out of it. So go into the game itself. There, it's a little graphic intensive. That's one thing. That's one thing to note, is that it's very graphically heavy.
Okay.
And that's kind of when I was talking about my phone was lagging a little.
So you need a really powerful phone.
Yeah, I wouldn't get, if you have a Droid, I wouldn't recommend this one.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but there's a couple of different ways that you can play. There's an arcade mode, which allows you to play the game, and there are different you get a score, and there are different power ups and things like that. There's a classic mode, which is just standard Jenga, pulling the bricks off thing. Then there's also a pass and play mode, which I actually used with my sister and my brother-in-law when we were sitting in traffic once, where we just passed the phone around and everyone took their turn. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's
cool. If you don't know what Jenga is, it's a tower of blocks, and the idea is to move blocks out of the tower and move it onto the top without not toppling the tower over. So let me get into the game itself and show you. So I'm going to do the arcade version. And it's really kind of neat. It keeps track of scores. You can see I actually have a high score on this. I have 14,000. Yeah, I know. You can unlock different backgrounds. I've only unlocked 2 so far, but you can change the background where you play. I'm going to play in the living room. It has these little boosts, so you earn money when you're playing the game, and then you can unlock like a wild card where that block can be the block of any color. You get more points if you finish off a row of all the same color. There are all different ways that they've kind of gamed up the system. You can also get extra time, so little things like that. I'm not going to buy any boosts here, but I'm going to go right into the game. And this is kind of one annoying thing I was saying. They show you how to play every time. The how to play screen every time. And I'm like, I know what I'm doing. Don't show it to me. But so here's the how to play. And basically you just use, and this is where the graphics kind of get involved. You can see here it's very 3D rendery kind of. And it uses your touch and basic physics to tell you what's going on. When you tap on a block, it will tell you whether it's likely to knock the whole tower over or not. So I'm going to tap on a block, and you see it's covered in white, so that means that that's probably safe to move. So what I just do is I can just tap it with my finger, and it slides out, and then I can move it wherever I want it, and I'm going to put it right there, and you move on. You can do, if you're a big Jenga player, you know, sometimes tapping the middle row. You see this one's kind of in a pink kind of thing, so it's going to be a little harder. And I'm gonna tap gently, and it gets to the point where you can't see it, and so you can just rotate the tower, and you see it sticking out here, and so then I can just highlight it again and kind of pull it out.
Oh, I was gonna say, how do you do that? Okay.
And there it is. And you get a little bit of money every time you successfully pull one out. Let's see, I just
look, you can tilt it too.
Yeah, it's the physics are really, really subtle. So if you're sitting on the bus playing this, might not be the best place to do it.
Wobbly, wobbly, wobbly.
But so let me show you what everybody wants to see. Let me knock over the tower. So I'm going to go to one that is not that it would recommend not to do, and it highlights those in red. I'm going to find a really good one. I'm just a good player.
Can you bump the table with your knee?
No, you can't, luckily. Okay, so you see this green one here. You see this is it's like a deep red right there. So I'm going to try to push it out, and it's not working. I can't even budge it. But you can wiggle it out.
Oh, there you go.
And if you swipe really quickly, it will get the momentum of your swipe.
Oh.
Let's see. There you go. Got it.
Everything fall.
Jeez, I can't even knock this thing over.
You're that good.
I am that good. I'm amazing. This is the game of my life.
Stan Locke says this game is not good for the colorblind.
Yeah, well. There's a version where the colors aren't. Oh, here we go. I got a little tension here.
Okay, here we go. Fall. He's trying to fall. He's swiping. He's swiping, and the Jenga is still up.
You see how it's
the
all
master of Jenga.
See how it's all kind of screwed up now. If you play the classic version, it's not going to. The blocks aren't colored.
Okay.
Okay.
So here we go. This one will do it.
And
oh my god!
Wow, Ron.
I'm really good.
They're like, this is the longest game
you
of
see
Jenga.
It's starting to teeter now. You see it's starting to. I'm gonna go right there.
Oh yeah,
yeah. This is gone. Swipe, 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 and
geez.
oh my
It's amazing.
God,
right,
Ron. Well, you're getting lots of points. No, you're not beating
the whole thing off.
You're not even trying, and you're doing well.
I ran out of time. So I ran out of time. So
okay.
Oh,
I can't believe I couldn't topple it. Wow, it's amazing.
Wow.
All right, let's try one more time, and then I'll topple it, and so we'll do it right out of the gate.
Okay.
So.
This poor Ron is trying to show what it looks like when the Jenga blocks tumble, and has not done
Okay, so there
yet.
you go. There's the wild card block. You see the little joker there? Yeah. All right, so.
Okay.
Jeez.
Well, and he's still succeeding to be awesome at Jenga. For those of you who are listening to the podcast, he's swiping another block. I feel like it's play-by-play. Swiping the wild card block, and I don't know. I don't think he's done it, folks. He is still winning the Jenga
this one will do it,
app
definitely.
competition.
Ron cannot lose.
Now he's moved on to a red block, and that block he's swiping, and it seems like the Jenga might fall, but no, not again. He is still winning the game. And now he is swiping a purple block.
There we go.
The tumbling has happened.
If the game's that hard to lose, I'm totally gonna play.
See, now the thing is that like I lose all the time. I don't know why that was so good, but it's a lot of fun. It's a good time waster. Like I said, it helps my my commute on the bus goes by pretty quickly. Yeah. And it's a fun game, and especially I found myself like actually playing it at home because I wanted to beat my score. The arcade version is really cool. Good. And then the pass and play, like having the 3 different types of playing, being able so the 3 of us we could pass it along. It's kind of nice. Like
that's cool.
You know, if you're on a plane, if you're traveling with somebody, it's kind of cool. And then there's just straight up classic where you just play it like normal. So
is it tablet optimized by any chance?
That's a good question. I
haven't. Oh, you actually have it?
Well,
because that would be a great party.
It was an Amazon app. And I think I downloaded it on my tablet, but I don't know if it actually works on the tablet.
I missed that free download. Darn.
Oh, maybe it does.
I don't know.
Getting the intro screen.
Okay, so
anyways.
Jason.
It says it's not compatible with my Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I think this might be what I got last time. Was
Okay.
just
Yeah.
the screen. So.
All right.
So-
Well, just wondering.
yeah,
Well,
so
maybe,
it's phone
maybe eventually.
it's phone optimized. So that's something to think about.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
But $299,
update that
got a lot of fun out of it.
eventually.
I mean, it's great because sometimes when they do the branded versions, it's either loaded with advertising or they screw it up somehow. You know, I mean, I don't know if I'm alone in that kind of feeling, but this I think they nailed it. So
Nice.
yeah.
Cool.
That looked like
All
fun.
right, so that's 4 games to get you guys started yet again and waste all of your time, as our time has been wasted with plenty of games the last
Absolutely.
week.
Sorry, I tried to lose really hard.
As all of our time has been wasted during your review,
I know.
Ron.
Still vote for me though.
It's Jenga. Everybody loves Jenga. So you've got Battle Bears, Air Attack HD, Early Bird, and Jenga. All can be voted at bit.ly/AAA31poll. It's bit.ly/AAA31poll. By the way, if you try any other variation of this, I'm told you end up Rickrolled. Not my doing,
Yeah, we didn't
but
do
it
that.
happens.
Is
I
that
thought
them?
maybe you did do it because
No.
we got an email or I got a tweet or something, and somebody said, "Very funny, guys. You rickrolled us."
Somebody is rickrolling the other combinations
I love
of the
it.
votes.
That's kind of awesome.
I know it kind of is.
awesome.
It's not me, but it's great. Whoever you are, that's pretty funny. So go ahead and vote. Again, that's bit.ly/AAA31poll. And next week we're gonna do another grab bag episode.
we are.
Cool. I like the grab bags.
Me too.
I like it when Jenga runs away with the
Look
in
at
the lead.
Jenga going for it.
Whatever. We'll
Canada represent, yo.
second place. I'm okay with that. While we tabulate, I'll go ahead and quickly talk about our second sponsor. This episode is also brought to you by Squarespace.com, the fast and easy way to create a high-quality website or blog. I've done it. You've done it,
Oh, I
Eileen.
sure have.
Ron, you've
I
done
did
it.
I just posted my September mix to my Squarespace blog.
We've all done it.
We've all done it.
With Squarespace.com. It's easy to use.
EileenTV.squarespace.com.
Optimized for beginners and CSS experts. Tons of templates to choose from if you want to get something started right away. There's apps for iPhone, iPad, Android, all that let you kind of update your blog, your Squarespace site. Online resources and special supports teams with 24 hours and 7 days a week support. Modules to build your website, blog modules, form builders, Flickr photo display, Twitter widgets, social media buttons galore. Like you can integrate all of your social media, anything, into your site really easily without having to do a whole lot of clicking. You can do all that, Google Maps, website tracking, SEO, all that fun stuff, and more. So for a free trial, if you want to check this out, you can go to squarespace.com. You don't need a code, actually, to check it out for free. You can sign up for a free account, no credit card needed, nothing like that. You can just try it out and start building your website right away.
Let's do flipthatbird.squarespace.com. Come on, Chad. Flip that bird.
Oh, man, this has to have been taken.
Oh, you think?
All right, while he does that, I'll go ahead and finish here. Sign up for the free account. If you decide that you want to purchase this and continue flipthatbird.squarespace.com, you can use the code Android10, get 20% off for 6 months. That's Android10 is the code, 20% off for 6 months. It's a really good deal. Check it out at squarespace.com. And we thank Squarespace for their support. And it appears that in the time that we even mentioned the beginning of this kind of flipthatbird.squarespace.com, Chad has created flipthatbird.squarespace.com. It is a website.
What's the
Very
password?
cool.
What is the password? WHAT, WHAT.
So go have fun, folks.
Go have fun for the next couple of weeks. Check it out. Or start your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start your own Flip That Bird derivative.
It's a meme.
Yeah. Check it out. It's really easy at Squarespace. Use the offer code Android10 if you do sign up, and you'll get 20% off for 6 months. Love Squarespace.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish off with an email.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have a whole lot of user feedback today, or viewer feedback today. Steve Hoos wrote in and said, okay, I have a question for the Hive Mind. My wife has an Evo 4G. She was using the calendar and contacts without syncing to a Gmail account. She asked me to add a new Gmail account that she is using with her students. After I added the new account, her contacts and calendar data disappeared. I removed the new account from the phone and the data did not come back. Is there any way to get the data back? My Google searches have come up short. I don't care how technical the fix is. I just have to get her data back if this is possible.
We need to acknowledge that this is a man who lost his wife's data on his phone, and I like the hint of desperation. That I just have to get her data back if possible. Like, I don't know if you understand. I'm kind of in trouble. I
Come on, you guys know where I'm
like,
at right
listen,
now.
the couch is not comfortable. I need to get this data back, please.
I'm sorry, honey. Well, have no fear, Steve. I think we're coming to your rescue here. Go home, settings, applications, manage applications, and make sure you're on the all tab in manage applications so you see all of your apps. Find contacts and contact storage. I have a feeling it's probably contact storage is the one that more specifically to take a look at. When you go inside there, you'll see a button that says clear data. You can clear the data from there. Don't worry, Google Sync happens regardless. So if you're clearing the data, you're basically starting your contacts from square one. But then I believe once you you're just essentially making sure that all those buttons are grayed out, right? And then when you reboot, the sync should begin soon thereafter once it's rebooted. If it doesn't already start before you reboot, it might just start syncing immediately. But essentially, you're just clearing the data out of there and starting fresh. You're not deleting anything. You're just removing it from your phone temporarily.
It should all be in the cloud. And
yeah, exactly. That's the beauty of the Google Cloud model is that it's all still up there. It's just not synced.
Hard to explain to the significant other, though.
Yeah.
No, the data's there. No, trust
Don't worry.
me. No,
it's not. I don't see it on my phone. It used to be on my phone. What's going on?
So
I hope
need
that
this
works.
Data back. I don't know. I'm in a jam.
Is that the title of our show? I need this data back.
I really need this data back.
I really need this data back.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Steve, and good luck. Let us know if we helped.
I hope it helped you. I know what that's like.
I'm crossing my fingers.
It's not fun.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's it for this week. We changed things up a little bit in the order, but it all worked out okay.
It was fun. We had lots of guests. It was like, it was a very special All About Android.
Yeah. Big thanks to Mario Tapia from GetJar. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And also big thanks to my old cohort, Justin Eckhouse. It was awesome being on an Android show with him again. What's
Just
up?
a little tease. I have the HTC Rhyme. I'm going to review this on next week's show, and we actually have Michael Ludden from HTC is going to come back. He was on our Android Open show.
Oh,
so I saved this review for him.
I was going to say, maybe I don't think HTC will like me saying lady phone so much, but I can just ask him.
You can just ask him. It is very pretty. I will say mostly positive experience. That's all I'm going to say.
And I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say you probably don't want to miss it because Michael is touting a big surprise that he's bringing because he's going to be here in the studio.
Oh, so now I have to come.
I think I know, but I'm not going to say it out loud. You can probably all guess what the surprise might be.
I'm so excited. I love surprises.
That's all I'm going to say.
I didn't get that. Well, you all right?
Can you say that again? Oh.
I didn't get that again.
I got it.
I don't know. Okay,
Is something happening?
There's something caught in my throat. All right, so that's it. Ron, plug quick.
So you can find me at about.me/RonXO. That's got all my links to Twitter, Facebook, Google+, all the good stuff. And if you like what I do, you can go check me out at ifanboy.com, website all about comic books, as well as graphly.com, which makes apps for Android. And we just, Walking Dead apps are available on Nook Color and the Amazon App Store experience. And
I meant to buy that.
Yeah, I should. It was just on sale last week. You missed it. I tweeted that out. Yeah, it was. I worked with Amazon, did a whole little deal.
Shoot.
Yeah.
I meant to download that for my new Kindle Fire whenever it comes.
Well, email
Sorry.
me. I'll see what I can do. I can
Okay, thank you.
So,
I'm Eileen, and you can find me at Eileen TV on Twitter.
gplus.to/EileenTV to get you on Google Plus.
And EileenTV.squarespace.com. I'm going to try and blog more there. Plug in our sponsor.
Oh, yeah. All right. And I'm at Raygun01 on Twitter. And you can find me, Jason Howell, on the Google+. That's it for this week. Leave us a voicemail, 347-SHOW-AAA. I promise we'll play some voicemails next week. I have a couple lined up, and we'll play them. Email and video mail can be sent to us at aaa@twit.tv. Hit the show up on Twitter, at Android Show. You can find our show notes at twit.tv/AAA. And finally, you can catch us live every Monday evening, 5 p.m. Pacific at live.twit.tv.
5 p.m.-ish.
Ish, yes. That's when we start setting up. Anyways, we will see you next week for what I imagine is going to be a pretty spectacular show. So come on back, and we'll see you guys then.
It's the Halloween episode, too.
Ooh, spooky. I'm not dressing up.
I might.
Nope. No,
I'm going to wear a mask.